push from the province, what the Saskatchewan government is asking of Ottawa for 3 major projects. Crosswalk concern: do some of Saskatoon's busiest intersections need longer walk times? And taking a walk down memory lane, people gather to look back at what was once a booming Saskatchewan community.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. The provincial government is throwing its support behind 3 event centre projects in Saskatchewan, and it's asking Ottawa to do the same. CTV's Stacey Hine has more on the projects and the costs.
This is an enormous step. This is a critical step.
Saskatoon Mayor Cynthia Block says the city is one step closer to making its downtown events and entertainment district a reality after receiving the provincial government's endorsement.
To have a commitment like this from the provincial government is huge, and I am very grateful for their support.
The $1.2 billion project is one of 3 event centres Premier Scott Moe has asked the federal government to help fund through Ottawa's Build Communities Strong Fund. The province says it's prepared to match any federal contribution through the fund up to 1/3 of eligible project costs.
It's a large amount, and that's what we're saying. We're there for the full amount.
The province is also backing the $94 million Battlefords Arena and Event Centre, along with Prince Albert's Convention and Cultural Events Centre. The Prince Albert project has already secured $15 million in federal funding towards its estimated $135 million costs. Prince Albert's mayor says it will help position the city for the future.
It's the evolution of PA moving from being a gateway city, which just rankles me because we need to become and are becoming a destination point.
The federal government's Build Communities Strong Fund provides $51 billion over 10 years, with $3 billion a year continuing after that to support public infrastructure projects. Liberal Member of Parliament Buckley Belanger says the federal government will consider all applications before making any funding decisions.
In order for us to be fair to all the other projects applying to this, we have to make sure that we apply a fairness lens and consider them all at once.
With the province on board, the focus now turns to the federal government with hopes it can offer funding for the projects. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The government of Saskatchewan is putting more than $77 million toward highways, bridges, and culverts in the Prince Albert and northern regions. The province says some of the work being done this season includes $13.5 million to improve Highway 302 east of Prince Albert, $12.9 million to twin 6 kilometers of Highway 2 north of Prince Albert, $300,000 for bridge repairs on Highway 106 north of Smeaton and Highway 6 south of Melfort, as well as around $345,000 for seal coating on Highway 3 near Shellbrook. Drivers are encouraged to check the highway hotline for up-to-date road closures or delays. A semi-driver has been ticketed after another Saskatoon overpass was hit and damaged on Friday. A semi towing a trailer with a grain bin was traveling southbound on Idlewild Drive when it struck the 51st Street overpass at about 1:30 that afternoon. The impact forced the bin off the trailer and resulted in it being wedged. Saskatoon police say the driver was ticketed for driving without due care and attention. 3 additional tickets were issued by the Saskatchewan Highway Patrol for failing to complete a pre-trip inspection, being over height, and failing to clear a structure. Laura's in for Jeff tonight, and Laura, it's another hot one out there today.
Another hot day in Saskatoon and really right across the province. We saw above seasonal temperatures, and we're bracing for an overnight storm. There's that system rolling through Saskatchewan, and I also want to show you there were a number of heat warnings right across southern Saskatchewan, and in the west there is a severe storm alert with a chance of tornado for the Battlefords area. I'll have your full weather forecast coming up.
2 brothers from southeastern Saskatchewan are remembering their parents and older sister after the 3 died in a collision near Maple Creek last week. As Donovan Mace shows us, their loss is reaching far beyond their home community of Estevan.
Daniel and Jeff Pratt are remembering their parents and older sister as selfless people who were deeply loved by their communities.
A lot of people say, the greatest parents in the world, but, we truly did. Carol adored me so much, tormented me with love.
Jim, Judy, and Carol Pratt died July 20th in a two-vehicle collision on Highway 1 near Piapot. RCMP say their SUV crashed into a semi parked on the side of the road. Alfie Lewis, Carol's 17-year-old son, was also in the vehicle, surviving the crash but sustaining serious injuries.
Paper boy.
Daniel and Jeff say the losses are being felt across the province and around the world by the people they've met.
Our parents were selfless with their love, their love for my sister, my brother, myself, for their grandkids, but also for their communities.
As an educator internationally, Carol had taught around the globe. Her family had been living in Abu Dhabi.
She's the funniest girl I've ever met and the smartest person I've ever met. And now you see it through her kids, Ruth and Alfie, like their wittiness, their brains they have. Oh my goodness.
Younger brothers who always looked up to the example their sister set.
She's been my hero. She was my first hero. She'll always be my hero.
According to the Pratts, Alfie is much like his mother. In an update this weekend, the family says Alfie is now awake and recovering at hospital in Regina.
The emergency response professionals that helped save our nephew and were there for our family during this time, like they saved Alfie's life, but they saved our family.
A close family, brought even closer, supported by loved ones near and far through this tragedy.
This world needs more love. That's what those three were about.
Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
A fog was a factor in a crash this morning on Highway 16 near Colonze. RCMP say they were called just after 6 o'clock for a collision involving a semi and a truck. The driver of the truck was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The semi driver did not report any injuries to police. Neither vehicle had passengers. Fire has destroyed a Saskatchewan RCMP detachment. RCMP say flames broke out at about 6 o'clock last night at the Morse detachment in the Swift Current area. No one was inside at the time and no injuries have been reported. Fire investigators were on scene today looking for a cause, but police say the fire is not considered suspicious. Morse RCMP will continue to police the detachment area with support from members in Swift Current. Concern is being raised about whether some crosswalk timers in Saskatoon are giving people enough time to safely make it across the street. Carla Shinkrick talked to one resident whose online posts have sparked a broader conversation about pedestrian safety.
Creates these very uncomfortable, dangerous situations that are just simply not necessary.
Zachary DeFrancesco says a walk across some intersections in Saskatoon has become a race against the clock.
Pedestrian crossings don't always work for pedestrians.
He posted this video to Reddit saying the crosswalk at Ottawald and 20th Street doesn't allow enough time to make it across safely.
Not having enough time leaves them in the intersection when the opposite direction of traffic finally gets that green light. And now all of a sudden pedestrians and drivers are in conflict.
He says the issue isn't limited to just one location, but believes this intersection best highlights the problem. He worries the short time frame could put seniors, people with mobility challenges, or parents with children at greater risk.
If you add on winter ice, where people have to walk cautiously through the city, they don't have the time to. You can't slow down. You have to keep going.
The city's engineering manager in transportation tells us the city follows guidelines from the Transportation Association of Canada and says there has been some changes to allow more time to cross.
A couple of years ago changed the walking speed down from 1.2 meters per second to 1 meters per second. So we used that and the length of the crossing to determine the crossing time.
But that's not at all crossings currently, and the city tells us they are in the process of being changed. Even once they're implemented across the city, some areas will get special consideration.
Idlewild is one of our coordinated corridors, so traffic signals along that corridor are timed together so that we can get progression for traffic, minimize delays, and improve throughput through the intersection, maximize the people going through. So that corridor is on our list to review.
At this particular intersection, the rest of Ottawald traffic also has to be weighed for optimal flow. Residents are asked to report any problem crosswalks in the city. However, the bus rapid transit is at the top of the list of priorities. Meanwhile, this pedestrian plans to attend a city council meeting in August to raise his concerns further. Carla Shinkrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Another major Saskatoon roadway will be closed for the next several months as crews take on another project. As of today, Wanuskewin Road will be fully closed north of 72nd Street for about 3 months for a pipeline corridor project. Drivers coming into the city from Highway 11 will not have access to Wanuskewin Road and will have to continue on through Highway 11 and Idlewild Drive. Drivers are being advised to plan their routes accordingly and allow for extra travel time. Saskatoon's Pink Cadillac says it's closing its 8th Street location at the end of August. In a social media post, the restaurant says its last day of operation will be August 28th. It thanks staff for helping build a retro family diner and customers for supporting the business over the past 12 years. The post also says, quote, "Unfortunately, you can't fight social media." Earlier this year, the restaurant gained widespread attention on social media after a customer posted about finding a cockroach in her grilled cheese sandwich. There's been a considerable debate over whether SaskPower should refurbish aging coal-fired power plants or switch to natural gas. Now, the C.D. Howe Institute has entered the conversation with an independent cost study. Wayne Mantika reports.
The cost comparison between coal and natural gas as a fuel source for electrical generation was conducted by Brett Dalter, a professor at the University of Regina. It provides an independent opinion.
Well, right now, Saskatchewan has to make some decisions about the future of our electricity system. We had a plan to phase out coal-fired power plants, replace them with a mix of gas and renewables. The province instructed SaskPower not to do that.
SaskPower plans to refurbish its 3 coal-fired power plants as a bridge to future nuclear power. The cost analysis conducted through the C.D. Howe Institute concluded that refurbishing and operating coal plants for the next 20 years will cost $30.2 billion, or $46.4 billion with carbon pricing factored in. 4 new combined cycle gas plants of equivalent output backed by wind and solar would cost $17 billion to build and operate until 2050, or $21.6 billion with carbon pricing factored in. Gas would be half the price.
You know, we're talking about savings of approaching $1 billion or more per year. And if you think about that per person in Saskatchewan, this is like, you know, $800 or more per person per year.
The new study backs what the NDP has been saying about the issue.
We can save tens of billions of dollars, generate $33 billion of economic activity, and build a real plan for Saskatchewan's future.
The provincial government had no immediate response to the new cost analysis, but in the past has said natural gas primarily comes from Alberta, while burning coal creates jobs in the mining sector in Saskatchewan. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A local comic recently had the opportunity to showcase his skills on the national stage. Hallie Mandrick has that story.
I've been putting my vet down as my family doctor in every form I fill out because I honestly think she'll do more for me. At the very least, she'll come to my bedside when I'm dying and be like, "You've been a really good boy, Mitch."
Saskatoon's Mitchell Doran just arrived home after showcasing his comedic skills at Just for Laughs' New Faces of Comedy showcase in Montreal.
I was happy to go out there and represent Saskatchewan and step out on that stage and really show people we have a strong scene here, we have strong comedic voices, and that I belonged there. And I think I did that.
After a self-tape audition, followed by a showcase at Art Bar, Just for Laughs invited Doran to its Montreal Comedy Festival alongside a number of up-and-coming comics.
At the end of June, I got a phone call from Just for Laughs while I was at work in the Children's Hospital. So I had to sneak away to a supply closet and take the phone call, and I wrote everything down on the side of a cardboard box, and then I ripped the cardboard box in half and shoved it in my scrubs.
The most recent Saskatchewan talent to participate in the festival, Dakota Ray Hebert, shared that it's promising to see more local comics recognized on a larger stage.
I was so excited for it. I've got goosebumps right now. But yeah, just yes, thrilled, amazing, because that's what New Faces is for. It's exciting to have. It feels like a little bit like Willy Wonka's golden ticket. You know, you're just like, oh my God, we're Charlie and we're Charlie. We got picked here in Saskatchewan. Oh my God, it just feels so exciting.
Hebert says the Saskatchewan comedy scene is full of talent, and there's a need for more spaces like Art Bar dedicated to showcasing that talent.
Because it gives a chance for the community to grow, to become established, and to take chances, learn, just try stuff, and then also be an affordable venue for comics to rent when they're ready to just give it a try and headline if they want to be doing the independent route.
As for what's next for Doran, he's looking forward to doing more stand-up shows in the coming months.
Be able to bring some fun and joy to the stage and remind myself not to take myself too seriously or any of it too seriously, but now I have to because I have a manager.
The New Faces of Comedy special was filmed and is expected to air in the fall with no exact date announced yet. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
One of the oldest churches in the province celebrated its 125th anniversary over the weekend. As Jacob Carr tells us, people from the Lemberg community and beyond came out to mark the occasion.
Hello. Good to be here.
The Archbishop of Regina, Don Bolin, was present on Sunday for a milestone celebration of St. Michael's Roman Catholic Church in Lemberg. The building has stood since 1901 and, according to Bolin, was built by stonemasons who came to the area from the Austria-Hungary region of Europe. They erected the church with field stones. Now, 125 years later, some 180 people gather to celebrate the building's long-standing tradition.
People feel very attached to this church and to this community. Sometimes these churches in the country or in very small towns were a real center of life, of culture, of community, and this certainly was the case here. So I think I might go and bless some tombs.
After Mass, Bolin blessed scores of tombs with holy water in the cemetery right beside the community church. Many attendees paid tribute to their loved ones, and for some, the anniversary rekindled fond memories of their great-grandfathers who helped build St. Michael's with their bare hands.
He was a stone masonry from the old country. He came over here along with other early settlers in the early 1890s, and he oversaw the building of this church.
Krupski referring to her great-grandfather Wilhelm Sebastian Hanoski. While the church has been in Krupski's family since its inception, parishioner Sandra Yowney joined the congregation just 8 years ago after moving to Lemberg from Regina. She says she and her husband were welcomed with open arms.
They are such a tight community, so much love, so much sharing, so much volunteerism. It's amazing. We love it here. We actually bought plots this year, so we plan on being buried in the cemetery beside the church, and yeah, it's just a wonderful, wonderful place to live.
Yowney says the parish is small but mighty, with about a dozen members currently, but seeing the amount of people who came to celebrate was well worth the effort that went into organizing the event. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Lemberg.
Still to come, who's been charged, accused of spying at NATO headquarters. Also, mysteries solved, how Canadian police have cracked a couple of cold cases. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Toronto police are searching for suspects after the American consulate in that city was shot at early this morning. It's the second time this year the building has been targeted by gunfire. Police say officers heard gunshots and found a shell casing outside the building and then chased a vehicle from the scene. The pursuit called off when speeds hit 140 kilometers an hour. No injuries have been reported. The incident comes about 4 months after the building was hit by gunfire in another shooting, which the RCMP called a national security incident. The Gordie Howe International Bridge between Detroit and Windsor is now open. After decades of planning and construction, the first vehicles crossed this morning. The new bridge will handle about 45% of commercial traffic moving through the Windsor-Detroit corridor, helping billions of dollars worth of goods reach destinations faster. The bridge took 8 years to build. It cost Canadian taxpayers nearly $6.5 billion. The bridge's opening became contentious in the months leading up to it, with U.S. President Donald Trump demanding changes to how revenues would be shared. Canada held a ceremony last week to mark the opening of the bridge, but a joint celebration with the U.S. was canceled over new tariff threats on Canadian goods. An intern from Canada has been arrested and accused of spying at NATO headquarters, raising concerns about a breach in Canada's vetting process. CTV's Judy Trin is looking into where the vulnerabilities exist.
Belgian authorities have accused a Canadian female intern at NATO headquarters of being a spy. After her arrest, the woman's office and home was searched by police. Her computer data was downloaded. This arrest is prompting the Canadian government to investigate how she got her security clearance, which was vetted by CSIS and the RCMP.
As a country, we will continue to investigate the processes we have and the security screening. It is an ongoing work that we do, and in this particular case, I think it's important to get to the bottom of what happened.
The minister says whether the suspect worked for internal Canadian departments before she was hired at NATO is also being looked at. Belgium's federal prosecutor says the intern is of Chinese origin, a Canadian citizen suspected of spying for an unnamed third country and of being a member of a criminal organization.
The junior employee that is most prone to manipulation, exploitation, senior or leadership positions, they often have the protection 24/7. They have security agencies watching their back.
Analysts say young employees are vulnerable targets for hostile foreign powers playing the long game.
The juice is worth the squeeze, right? Because I mean, if they invest in this asset for a very long time, they keep it under the radar, keep attention away from that person, and then that asset rises to deputy foreign minister or becomes head of the delegation or, is one of the political military affairs at shape. The amount of intelligence and what that asset can pay back after years of investment is really just unbelievable.
NATO says no sensitive information or operations were compromised at its headquarters. The Canadian woman makes her first appearance in court on Tuesday behind closed doors. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations says American attacks on Iran have paused to make room for diplomacy after 13 consecutive days of strikes.
As the president said, we are locked and loaded. Even more assets are going into theater, but he's giving talks some space.
That was Ambassador Mike Waltz appearing on Fox News yesterday. He said negotiators from Oman, Iran, and other countries have been engaged in talks from the senior level to the technical level over the past few weeks, and talks have ramped up in the past few days. Waltz says the president prefers diplomacy, but he's shown what will happen if Iran doesn't take negotiations seriously. Police and community members in Calgary are still searching for Parker Wells, an 11-year-old boy with autism who's been missing for almost 2 weeks. Today, Calgary police said there's no tangible evidence to suggest that Parker was abducted. Authorities say they have received more than 500 tips and have been analyzing hours of surveillance video. Search organizers say they are following the guidance of police in their search and looking for more volunteers. If anyone sees him, they are told not to approach him, but to keep him in sight and call 911 immediately. 2 cold cases have been solved decades after crimes left police scratching their heads. Now, Toronto police, using genetic genealogy, have broken the mysteries. CTV's Heather Butts on what science revealed.
Sifting through the ruins of a demolition site in 1995, police knew then this decades-old murder would be challenging to solve. Forensics determined the victim was buried after suffering at least 6 blows to the head from a hammer-like weapon.
They couldn't even develop a DNA profile because of the decomposition. And now they don't just identify the DNA profile. They put it to a town in Scotland.
In 2022, it was selected as part of Project 31 using investigative genetic genealogy. The victim was identified as Mary McLeod Moffat, born in 1905 in Scotland and immigrated to Canada, likely murdered in approximately 1936.
We were able to obtain a segment of bone from her that actually was able to yield a perfect, nice, clean, fully robust DNA profile for her, and our team of amazing genealogists were able to wrap this up.
Police say the victim's husband, who died a decade before his wife's body was discovered, is believed to be responsible for her murder, putting a 90-year-old case to a close. The second cold case breakthrough, also very public and high profile in nature. A 2004 crash along a major Ontario highway where police found a badly burned body in the passenger seat.
What's suspicious is the amount of damage on the car.
The cause of death was never determined. DNA analysis led police to many Cree communities. And after 2 decades of piecing together family connections, she was identified as Patsy Flora Lagarde.
When you speak to relatives of it, says she was actually very full of life and a very sort of energetic, happy person. So bringing this news to them was absolutely crushing.
An element of closure for 2 families decades later. Heather Butts, CTV News, Toronto.
A new study shows just how much of a toll the emergency room can take on Canadian doctors. New research published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal says 1 in 10 emergency room doctors leave the specialty because of burnout. Nearly half of the respondents said they have reduced their clinical hours, while 20% have taken time off. All right, Laura, I think water and sunscreen is kind of the word of the week. It's going to be really hot.
And maybe a fan, Chantel.
A fan would be good too.
I've been seeing more of those, like the neck fans. Have you seen any of those?
I have, yes.
Yeah, it's a really great idea and definitely needed for this week. We are seeing temperatures well above seasonal and even later into the evening. I mean, right now around 6:30, still 28 degrees in Saskatoon, 26 in Prince Albert and 26 in the Battlefords. And I should mention, in the Battlefords, there is a tornado watch. So we're keeping our eyes on that. And there are severe storm warnings really in different parts of the province, western part and southern part. So we could see a little bit of hail and thunder, lightning, that sort of thing. I'll get more into it in just a second. Let's take a look at our daily almanac here. So 29 was the high today, the low 14 degrees. And so we were above seasonal temperatures, where typical temperatures around this time of year, 25 degrees, typical high, 12 is the low. The record was set in 1957 at 39 degrees, and the sun is going to set in a couple hours, and I'll have your full weather forecast coming up.
Coming up, a walk down memory lane, a reunion to reminisce about the old days in Uranium City.
Talking adorable adoptables on the next Your Morning Saskatchewan. We are finding your next furry friend. Janelle is on location with Bright Eyes Dog Rescue to help you get them a forever home.
Well, another hot day in Saskatoon and right across the province. We saw above seasonal temperatures, that humidity making things feel warmer than they are. And so sunscreen, fans, some water, that was all in order today. A little cooler than the weekend we saw temperatures feeling more like 32 degrees midday and not a lot of cloud coverage. So making things feel even warmer. And tonight we're bracing for a storm. There is a severe storm watch in effect for parts of the province. I'll get out of the way here and you can take a look at our radar and satellite so you can see that system rolling through Saskatchewan. That's what we're keeping our eyes on. That green blob, that should be bringing some rain, maybe some thunderstorms as well. Current conditions, 28 right now in Saskatoon, 26 in Prince Albert, as well as in the Battlefords. The winds starting to pick up tonight as we brace for that storm. The Battlefords, there is a tornado warning, or a tornado watch, I should say. So Environment Canada says the evening storm could produce tornadoes, large hail, and some damaging winds. So keeping our eyes on that. As for our hot spot, Val-Marie at 33 degrees, of course, with the humidity feeling more like 36, and the cold spot Maple Creek at 9 degrees. Let's go around the province now. 17 in Lloydminster. I don't know if that's correct. That seems a little cool. 26 in Prince Albert. Let's go up north now to Waskesiu. Beautiful day there at 26 degrees. Up north now, a little cooler in Collins Bay at 20 degrees. South End at 22. Heading down south where it's about 30 degrees right across the board. And let's take a look now at our futurecast. Check out that system rolling through. As I mentioned, the Battlefords is where we're keeping our eyes on, and that's right near the border. So of course that system coming through right there, and we're looking at that. And there's a look at our watches and warning. As for the pink stuff all down below. That's a heat warning right across southern Saskatchewan. So stay inside, stay cool if you can, and just be mindful of heat stroke and those effects there. Let's take a look at our forecast for the north tomorrow, around 25 degrees. As for west central Saskatchewan, around 26, even nicer in Kindersley at 30 degrees. Southwestern Saskatchewan, sunny skies, 32 in Leader, shaping up to be the hot spot in our province. Looks like it's going to be quite warm there. As for Regina, Moose Jaw, Estevan, 31 degrees, so it looks like that heat warning may be in effect again as those temperatures climb. East Central Saskatchewan, 27 degrees, Hudson Bay, sunny skies, and 28. In the Battlefords, 40% chance of showers, thunderstorm risk, and could be some hail. As I mentioned, strong winds and a watch for a tornado. And then tomorrow, we are expecting the fog to clear and a pretty nice day. High of 28, low of 14. And for the rest of the week, feeling pretty much the same. Another above seasonal temperature week. And then Saturday, check out that temperature. High of 34, low of 16. Really warm. And then on Monday, things really take a turn. High of 21. And a low of 9. A similar situation for Prince Albert. 60% chance of showers and a risk of thunderstorms. Tomorrow, the fog is clearing up and we're going to have sunny skies. High of 27, low of 16, and then another hot weekend. I always say in Saskatchewan, you know, we get usually nice weather during the week, and then on the weekend we get ugly weekends, but that's not been the case. We've had really nice temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. It seems like we're getting pretty lucky, even if it is quite humid and hot out there overnight in Saskatoon. 14 degrees, 30% chance of showers, so we're bracing for an overnight storm there. 28 tomorrow, feeling more like 33 with that humidity, and the low for tomorrow is 16 degrees, feeling similar on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then warming up on Saturday. Singer-songwriter Carly Simon has revealed she's been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Simon shared the news, saying she took time to process before deciding whether to speak about it. The Grammy-winning singer-songwriter and Oscar winner not only built a remarkable career in music, but also has authored 5 children's books and 2 memoirs.
We won the war. Help me go home.
The Odyssey continued to dominate the box office in its second weekend in North American theaters, taking in an estimated $87 million U.S. in ticket sales. Meanwhile, Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 has surpassed $1 billion U.S. globally. That makes it the highest grossing movie release of 2026 so far. Ryan Gosling will be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Ghost Rider. That was announced at the San Diego Comic-Con over the weekend. The film is set to be released in 2020.
The following is a message from the Canadian National Public Alerting System.
At 6:36 p.m. Central Standard Time Monday, Environment Canada has issued a tornado warning for South Central and West Central Saskatchewan. Extra care and attention should be exercised in and around the following localities: Meadow Lake, Pierceland, Good Soil, Green Lake, Waterhen Reserve, Big River, Spiritwood, Debden, Big River Reserve, Meeting Lake and Leask. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe thunderstorm that is possibly producing a tornado. Damaging winds, large hail and locally intense rainfall are also possible. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches. Please consult local media for more information.
You're going to like this one, Chantel. These are the cows.
Oh, my.
Yes, Vic says even the cows found a way to beat the heat on the prairies. So,
cows.
There you go. One way to cool off. And finally, we have this one sent to us by Terry. This pic was taken Saturday out cruising around Candle Lake. This place, Terry tells us, is known as Pelican Island. I love those big birds, she says. And we've definitely been seeing more pelicans at the weir this year, at least I have been, so lots of pictures to be taken. Thanks so much to all of you for sending them in, and if you have a picture you'd like to share with us, you can send it to us too. Jeff loves to see them, and so do I, so you can email them at cfqcnews@ctv.ca with the subject line Pick of the Day.
Still to come on CTV News, Mining Memories, a Saskatchewan gathering that looked at what was once a booming community. Uranium City was the focal point of Saskatchewan's mining industry in the 1960s and 70s. On Saturday, it was what brought people together for a reunion. As Hallie Magic reports, many shared some special memories of when the community was a boomtown.
Those who grew up in Uranium City before the 1980s describe it as a picturesque slice of Saskatchewan's north. On Saturday, they shared memories at a reunion.
We used to go down to the beach lots to swim. Sometimes as a family we'd go down, sometimes as a group of kids getting along, sometimes as a party as we got older.
The lakes, the bush, like it's just a beautiful area.
There's only air access, so you're kind of remote. And you're surrounded by wilderness where you could go out anytime, and it was like one massive playground.
But after the economic boom drew in families from across the globe thanks to El Dorado Nuclear's Beaver Lodge mining site during the 1960s, the rapid expansion suddenly stopped after the mine abruptly announced its shutdown in 1981.
Overnight, everything come to a crashing halt. It was, can't explain it really, like it was devastating for a lot of people.
Uranium City's population began to drastically decline as families who intended to put down roots in the area were forced to move elsewhere for work.
They had to have jobs, they had to have a life to raise their families, so that's why they had to leave. And most of them left brokenhearted.
Many former residents still gather for a reunion every few years, and the story of Uranium City has become an important part of Saskatchewan's history and family history for some.
There's other photos from different areas of Canada too, but Uranium City has really stood out to me and almost wanted me to dig deeper into the history of it.
While digging into his family history, Cole Warren came across a box of slides that belonged to his grandparents who lived in Uranium City during its busiest time.
Being one of their grandsons, I only got to see them in an elderly age. So it's nice to see that. It's really cool to see how people lived in Uranium City back in the 1950s.
Warren says he's now in the process of digitizing the images in the hopes of preserving the history, something those who attend the reunions are also hoping for.
We didn't really notice what we, appreciated what we had until we had to go out and see what the real world was like.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
When we come back, a project in southern Saskatchewan facing pushback gets a green light, and diving into a centuries-old tradition.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Northern Lights Bluegrass Camp and Festival takes place August 10th to 16th at the Ness Creek Festival site near Big River. The Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame will be celebrating its 41st annual induction in Battleford on Saturday, August 15th. For tickets, please contact the Hall of Fame. You can submit your community event by visiting our website and clicking on Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Let's take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow. It's mostly a mix of sun and cloud until you head down south. Things feeling so much warmer with the heat warning in effect. I'll get out of the way here and we can see the numbers. Don't trip on the cords. Here we go. Okay, 28, 26 in Meadow Lake, 26 in Spiritwood as well. Some fog lifting by mid-afternoon in Melfort at 26 degrees. Sunshine in Hudson Bay, 27, sun and cloud in Wynyard. And there's a look at the sunshine in the south. There is is that heat warning in effect, as I mentioned, 33 in Maple Creek, and this is not taking into consideration the humidity. So things feeling more like 36 degrees in Assiniboia, Pilot Butte, Broadview at 29, Carlisle at 31, 33 in Coronach. And so Environment Canada is warning people to be mindful of the effects of heat stroke because it's definitely going to be hot in the south there. And as for Purdue, it's looking like sunshine, a pretty nice day. Feels like 35 with that humidity, but the temperature is showing 30 degrees, moderate wind speeds. And Purdue is where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
A Saskatchewan theatre company is at risk of shutting down. Regina's Globe Theatre is going before City Council this week seeking immediate financial relief. Council documents show the theatre is $16.3 million in debt, facing major financial pressure stemming from the Globe's recent renovation, with final costs exceeding the project's budget. The Globe is asking for a one-time $1.38 million in city funding to avoid shutting down, which would ensure the theatre can continue operating for the show season ahead. The request will go before council on Wednesday. A contentious windmill project in the Weyburn area has been given conditional approval by the RM of Griffin. The RM of Weyburn has also approved the Seven Stars Wind project. It's being put forward by a partnership between Enbridge and a development company owned by a group of Saskatchewan First Nations. The 200-megawatt, 46-turbine wind power project has faced pushback in the area, but the RM of Griffin says all municipal expectations, applicable regulations, and site restoration commitments apply. Coming up, a look at One Act peddling their talent. Then the daring dives for a long-standing tradition.
Hey there. It's Derek Chesney here with the Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. This week on Crime Stoppers en masse, we're needing your assistance to identify a suspect in an armed robbery that took place in the 1500 block of Ottawa Drive North on October 25th, 2025, around supper time. Video surveillance shows the suspect enter the restaurant through the main doors. He was wearing a gray Puma bunny hug with dark lettering. His hood was up and his face was covered by a black face mask. Staff was thrown off as the suspect was posing as a delivery driver and was carrying a red Skip the Dishes bag. After the suspect pointed a gun at staff and demanded money, he jumped over the counter, ripped the cash drawer out of the register before fleeing the scene. If you have information about this suspect or information about any other crime, if so, please give us a call at 1-800-222-8477, or you can leave a tip online at SaskatoonCrimeStoppers.com. You can also check out our Facebook, Instagram, and our homepage for photos of the suspect and other active crimes within the city. We pay cash rewards of up to $2,000 for information that leads to an arrest. We don't want your name, we just want your assistance. Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. Do your part to stop crime in our community.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Well, playing in a band takes talent, but you have to be a multi-skilled person, I think, to join this group. This is the Big Bike Orchestra from Poland. These guys ride around Europe on a 6-seater while playing their instruments flawlessly. They turn heads and bend ears everywhere they go. That is super impressive.
Very impressive. I'd be the guy in the front. He just has to steer.
That
Look at him
would be
go.
Hard, I think.
Yeah, but they're all pedaling.
Yeah, I hope he has a little horn on the front, you know, like a bike horn.
He's doing enough.
True.
But yeah, he should have a little instrument.
Just so he can be part, right? All right, well, a daring centuries-old tradition attracted big crowds in Bosnia and Herzegovina on the weekend. Thousands turned out to watch the 460th edition of the bridge diving competition in the southern city of Mostar. 34 competitors took part in this year's contest, all jumping from a 24-meter-high UNESCO-listed bridge. There were 2 categories, head first and feet first, with the divers receiving scores from a panel of judges. The bridge was completed in 1566 and connects the 2 sides of the historic city.
Wow.
That's daring.
That is daring. You do a big cannonball, Chantal?
I don't think so.
You strike me as...
You know how I feel about deep, dark water, that I can't see the bottom?
That's fair, that's fair.
You never know.
Let's take one quick look at our weather. Do we have time? No, we don't have time. Well, it's going to be sunny tomorrow.
And hot. That's all you need.
That's it. That's all you need.
Thanks for
Good
watching.
night.